I fell in love with my best friend. I had the courage to confess my feelings, and he still rejected me. Sometimes the person who holds you the closest is the same one who never fully chooses you. I don't know when it happened. I don't know if it was the first time he looked at me differently, or the day I realized my heart started beating faster every time he came near me. All I know is that I'm trapped in a story that doesn't have a name. I'm in love with my best friend. And the worst part is, he knows it too. I'm a teenager, and I never thought something like this could hurt so much. I don't have anyone to talk to, no one to ask for advice without feeling judged or told that I'm overreacting. I've known him since August 2024. From the very first day, there was something different. It wasn't instant, it wasn't obvious. It grew slowly, like the kind of feeling you don't notice until it's already too late. Recently, I gathered all the courage I had and told him how I felt. I told him the truth. And he, after a friend practically forced him to be honest, told me that he liked me too, but that he was scared of being with me. I told him I wasn't afraid of a relationship, that even if things went wrong, at least it would have been real. After that, he never brought it up again. And this is where everything becomes confusing, because we talk every day. At school, we hold hands almost all the time. He sits behind me in class, we're always together, and people already ask if we're a couple. He has me in his Instagram highlights, like I'm his girlfriend. He looks at me like he's in love. He treats me like someone special, but when I ask him what we are, he always says the same thing. I don't want a relationship. He says relationships overwhelm him, that he's afraid something will go wrong, that he doesn't want to lose me because I'm his best friend. I even discovered something that left me frozen, a private WhatsApp channel he had hidden, where for a long time he talked about how much he liked someone, and that someone was me. So how am I supposed to understand all of this? He cares about me, but he doesn't choose me. And I care about him so much that I don't know how to set boundaries, because I've never really known what it feels like to be chosen seriously. I'm trapped in a place that hurts, more than friends, but less than a couple. And I don't know whether to keep waiting, or protect myself before I completely break. At first, I told myself I was imagining things, that maybe this was just how close friendships looked, that maybe I was the one reading too much into it. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. Because friends don't hold hands every day. Friends don't look at you like you're the only person in the room. Friends don't blur the line so much that you start questioning your own feelings. Every day felt the same, and yet heavier. In the mornings, he'd sit behind me in class, leaning forward just to whisper something stupid that would make me laugh. Our hands would find each other without thinking, like muscle memory. Sometimes he'd squeeze my fingers slightly, almost unconsciously, and my heart would jump every single time. People noticed. They'd ask if we were together. They'd tease us. They'd smile at us like we were obvious. And he never corrected them. Not once. That silence felt louder than any answer. Online, it was the same story. He'd post pictures, songs, little moments, and I'd be there, in his highlights. Always present, always implied. Anyone looking from the outside would think we were a couple. And maybe that's what hurt the most. Because I was living a relationship that didn't officially exist. I started questioning myself. Maybe he just needed time. Maybe fear really was holding him back. Maybe if I was patient enough, he'd eventually choose me. But patience slowly turned into anxiety. Every time he said, "I don't want a relationship," it felt like a quiet rejection wrapped in affection. Like he was saying, "I want you close. Just not too close." I tried to act normal. I tried to be the cool girl who doesn't push, the understanding friend who doesn't ask for more. But inside, I was constantly negotiating with myself. Am I allowed to feel hurt if he never promised me anything? Do I even have the right to be upset? And then there were the nights, late conversations, long voice notes, moments where he opened up about his fears, his stress, how overwhelming relationships felt to him. I listened. I supported him. I reassured him. I became his emotional safe place. And slowly, without realizing it, I started disappearing from my own needs. The discovery of that WhatsApp channel changed something inside me. It wasn't just that he liked me. I already knew that. It was the fact that he could say it freely, as long as it didn't require action. Seeing those messages felt like proof and betrayal at the same time. Proof that I wasn't crazy. Betrayal because he still chose to do nothing. That's when the thought I had been avoiding finally surfaced. What if he's comfortable exactly like this? What if I'm giving him everything a relationship offers? Affection, attention, loyalty, without him having to commit to anything? That realization hurt more than his fear ever did. I started noticing patterns, how he leaned on me when he felt lonely, how he pulled back the moment things felt too real, how he'd reassure me just enough to keep me there. Not intentionally cruel, but still painful. I wanted to set boundaries. I thought about it constantly. But every time I imagined pulling away, my chest tightened. What if I lose him completely? What if asking for clarity pushes him away? What if I end up alone? I wasn't just afraid of losing him. I was afraid of confirming that I was never truly chosen in the first place. So I stayed. In that space between hope and disappointment, between affection and confusion, a place where nothing is defined, but everything hurts. And the worst part? He probably thinks he's protecting me. While I'm slowly breaking myself trying to understand him, there was a moment when I realized I couldn't keep pretending anymore. It didn't happen during a big argument. It wasn't dramatic. It was quiet, and that somehow made it worse. We were sitting together like always, laughing, close, our hands touching without thinking, and suddenly it hit me. I was acting like his girlfriend, while reminding myself every day that I wasn't. So I asked him, not joking, not smiling, not carefully choosing words to protect his feelings. I just asked, "What are we doing?" He looked surprised, not angry, not defensive, just uncomfortable. And before I could even finish my thought, he said it again. "I don't want a relationship." Same words, same tone, like a reflex. Something inside me snapped. Not in a loud way, in a tired way. I asked him why. Why hold my hand? Why treat me like a partner? Why let everyone believe something that, according to him, didn't exist? He said he was scared, that relationships overwhelm him, that he didn't want to ruin what we had. And for the first time, I didn't immediately accept that answer, because suddenly I understood something painful. He wasn't afraid of losing me. He was afraid of committing to me. There's a difference. I realized that every time I stayed quiet, I was choosing his comfort over my own peace. That every time I waited, I was teaching myself that my feelings came second. So I said the hardest thing I've ever said to someone I love. "I can't keep doing this." My voice didn't shake, but my chest felt like it was collapsing. I told him I cared about him deeply, that I valued our friendship, but that being stuck in something undefined was hurting me. I told him that affection without clarity feels like hope, and hope can be cruel. He didn't argue. He didn't promise anything. He just stayed silent. And that silence answered every question I had been too afraid to ask. Because if someone truly wants you, they don't hesitate when you ask where you stand. They don't need unlimited time. They don't keep you in a gray area. Walking away didn't make me strong instantly. It didn't make the feelings disappear. But it did something important. It reminded me that wanting love doesn't mean accepting confusion, and that being chosen starts with choosing myself. I wish I could say the pain ended the moment I walked away. It didn't. There were days I wanted to text him. Days I replayed every memory, every laugh, every moment that felt real. Days I wondered if I gave up too soon. But slowly, something changed. The confusion faded. The constant anxiety stopped. I wasn't waiting for a message anymore. And I realized something important. Love shouldn't feel like guessing. It shouldn't feel like walking on glass. And it shouldn't require you to shrink your feelings just to keep someone close. I didn't lose my best friend that day. I lost the version of myself that believed being half chosen was enough. And maybe that's what growing up really looks like. Understanding that affection without commitment isn't love, that fear doesn't excuse emotional confusion, and that choosing yourself is not selfish. It's necessary. If you're listening to this and you're stuck in that same place, more than friends, but less than a relationship, I hope you remember this. Someone who truly wants you won't keep you in the gray. They won't make you question your worth, and they won't need endless time to decide. Because the right choice doesn't feel confusing, it feels clear.